Hey friends, welcome to this week's video, brought to you by the word Acedia or Acadia. If you guys have ever ran across this word in your studies of the Bible and stuff like that in any of your Bible studies or devotionals, it's a word that's very new to me. Now I want to tell you about why I'm talking about this today. Two things. One, in particular, I am training this week. I trained last week. You remember Lana that was training with us from the Surprise campus. And this week, I am training a person named DIL. So you will see him this weekend. He will be with us. We are very lucky to have him. And I absolutely love training. And I want to tell you about something that I focus on a lot when I'm training somebody new who's coming into ministry, who's never worked in ministry before, or maybe they're new to food services. I like to talk a lot about making sure that you as a pastor, right? And so I'm letting you guys peek behind the curtain a little bit on like what we talk about and what we do and how we prioritize things. I like to talk a lot with my trainees about spiritual burnout, and being able to like have your cup full so that you're able to then pour out to others. Cause that's our job. We're pastors, we're your pastors, and we're meant to be pouring into you guys all the time. Now it's something that I had a long, conversation with my trainee today. And this is again, something I focus on with all my trainees is we talk about spiritual burnout and being kept spiritually full ourselves and how we are really responsible for that because we need to be always ready to be able to pour out into others. We need to be seeking the word. We need to be in the word a lot and just being overall curious so that we are strong enough when you guys come at us with things that you need and ways that we can pour into you, that we are spiritually ready and ready to pour out. And so second thing, I'm also going through a devotional right now with someone who used to be a volunteer of ours, but someone who just said, hey, I'm really feeling lonely. I'm feeling spiritually unfed. And I said, you know what? Why don't we make a regular routine thing together? Why don't we spend some time and go through a couple of devotionals? And we're going through this devotional right now that couldn't have been more perfectly timed. And again, that's definitely a God wink. So right now we're talking about Acedia. And it's so crazy because it is something that I talk a lot about. I just didn't have a word for it. And I'm so thankful that God put this devotional in my path because now I can speak about it. I feel like a little bit more like I'm a little bit more ready, right? And I've done a little bit more educating myself about it just by going through this devotional. Anyway, so this week's anchor verse is in Peter. So let me go to it real quick. It is 1 Peter 5, 8 through 9. So let me read it really quick. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings. So the reason we talk about this verse in Acedia is because there are going to be things that are going to come at you, and it's usually always an attack, right? So the devil just knows how to get at us so that we don't spend as much time with God. And so something called that they have learned to call Acedia then comes in. And the way Acedia works, you might hear this synonymous with like the word lazy, but it's actually like lazy, like up here. Like, so it's taking like the word lazy and then you got up here, which is, this is actually something from like the devil. Like, so it's like laziness brought on by the devil. So here's what Acedia does. So Acedia threatens your spiritual progress in a couple of key ways. And this devotional, I can send it to you guys too. It's really great. Acedia first sabotages our sanctification. So the ongoing process of becoming more like Jesus is just like interrupted, like, Second, acedia attacks our identity and spiritual memories. So like spiritual amnesia causes us to forget all the goodness that God has done in our lives. Forget our blessings, right? Like all of a sudden we're focusing on all the bad things. And like, woe is me, you get into like a state of like loathness, right? Third, acedia induces a feeling of languishing. Now, this devotional goes pretty long into languishing. Really, what it means is just it like a period where everything that we do for the Spirit, like serving others and going to church and listening to the Word and praying and stuff like that, it just becomes like you don't have any fulfillment in it anymore. And all of a sudden it feels like a chore and stuff like that. That's where that word kind of lazy gets like misconstrued in this definition a little bit. And I just thought it was a really cool read and really like eye opener for me. Like, hey, like I'm focusing on the right thing with these trainees, right? Like we're literally talking about acedia. Now we have a name to the definition, and we're able to put like, don't let yourself fall into this season of languishing. Don't let yourself fall into this period of acedia where the devil is trying to distract you from just taking pleasure in serving the Lord and furthering His kingdom. It's real, and the reason, again, the reason we bring up that verse in 1 Peter 5 is because there are things that are out there that are just constantly going to try to tell you. So it's basically telling you, don't listen to the worldly things. Don't listen to the world around you because everyone's affected by it. And then the other people that are around you start to affect you and stuff like that. So it's just telling you like, be constant, be steady in your faith, and just know that there's something better. And if you go into this period, which I know I've definitely done it. My husband, me and my husband, sometimes we get into these periods of like, oh, I just don't feel like it. Right. It feels like a chore. Just guarding our hearts against that, guarding our spirit against that, and just remaining constant, and just focusing on Him. Right. Guys, we love pouring into you so much, and it's just something that I love making these videos. It's always fun to try to come up with like a new topic. And again, this was just this devotional and like training and all of that just made it just perfect timing. And I thought it was really cool. I thought I would share my findings with you. I love to go down rabbit holes when it comes to learning about the Bible and just different things. So I want to announce that Jake came up with this really cool, it's more of like a survey, in a way for you guys to, we don't want to fall into that acedia. We don't want to fall into a period of languishing. We want to be constantly keeping up with what you guys want to hear about in these devotionals. So Jake came up with a Google Doc. I'm going to share the link in our weekly email and in the description of this video. I'm going to share the link for this Google Doc. We would love for you guys to chime in there somehow. And it's going to ask you, what do you want to hear about? Like, do you want to hear about these certain characters of the Bible? Do you want to hear about this certain book? Do you want to hear about this particular subject? What applies to you guys? Like, we want to hear from you guys. What do you want to hear about? And we just need your help with that a little bit. Just so it helps kind of guide us as to like, hey, if we're talking about this too much, or we're talking about that too much, or we're talking, you know what I mean? Like we just want to stay current. We want to pour into you guys the way you want to be poured into. And we just want to keep it fun as well at the same time. Again, love these videos. Love you guys. Can't wait to rock this weekend. It's a holiday weekend. I'm sure it's going to be busy. Guys, we have had some record weekends, some record numbers and sales. Sales kind of tells us, like, although we don't really focus on dollar amount, we focus on people. Sales, though, tells us like how busy we are, right? And it just goes to show we got more people in the seats and more people coming out to enjoy coffees and food and stuff like that and getting community. This is why we do what we do. Love you guys helping. We love that you help us make it happen, and we love to see you on the weekends. serving with you guys gives us an opportunity to pour into you guys. But if ever there's like, hey, you got a little extra something on your mind, or you just want to spend some time with me and Jake, if ever you guys want to come by during the week, as you guys know, we're there during the week. The only day we're not there is Mondays. But if you guys ever want to come and hang out with us, find out a little bit more about what we do. I love giving you guys a peek around the curtain, so I would absolutely invite you guys to make an appointment with us. Come in for a coffee, come in for a quick chat. It doesn't have to be long. We want to pour into you guys how you want to be poured into. So if y'all want to give us a couple minutes of your time, we would love to do that, because we want to pour into you guys. Love you guys. See you this weekend. Can't wait to make it a great one.